Tonight, on the Midnight Train podcast, we talk about a school for gifted youngsters. There is a bald guy in a wheelchair that teaches them how to live with the gifts they have been given. Just kidding. Tonight we discuss the Dozier School for boys. Warning: listener discretion is advised. We say things like, Merry Christmas. If that offends you, fuck off. All aboard.
Hello, passengers, or should I say, happy holidays and or Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Happy Kwanzaa, anything you celebrate out there. Welcome to the Midnight Train podcast, where we bring the dark to light. What's that mean? Well, we make fun of and joke about creepy shit while bringing you as much information on each topic as possible. I am your host, the conductor of the cryptic, Jonathan Sayer, and I feel like I need one of these. It's Christmas. I'm going to give myself that. And of course, with me, as always, is the one and only Mr. Jeff Butchko. How are you, buddy?
Oh, happy Chanukah.
Happy, what is it? Kwanzaa, Kanza, whatever.
Why? Here's a question.
Happy holidays.
And I'm not Jewish, and I'm sure that we have some Jewish listeners.
Yeah.
Why is there 8 nights or days of Hanukkah? Like, is one not good enough? Is that bad for me to say?
It's got to have something to do with their religion and
the
whatnot.
menorah, the candle.
Yeah, I would assume. I don't know. I don't know enough about.
I don't know enough about it either. I'm just
Jewish
curious.
faith.
I'm thinking like I want to convert because I want 8 nights of Christmas or days.
But so I've grown up with some Jewish friends and whatnot, and they say that so you get like a gift every day.
Yeah.
But I hear they're like really shitty gifts.
Oh, it's like five below or Dollar General.
Like, here's a pair of socks for this day, and then here's you know what I mean, something shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it could be awesome. They could be getting like a freaking Nintendo Switch one day, and you know.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know.
I mean, like $200 minimum per day. I'm thinking.
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, we should start a new one.
A new one?
Yeah, we'll call it Hanukkah.
But I'm afraid who's going to celebrate that? Because I'm not buying $200
We'll start
gifts
our own
every day.
religion. Why not?
Our listeners have to buy us
There we go.
$200 gifts every day.
It's like an advent calendar with awesome stuff in
Right.
it.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome. I think that'll work. Unfortunately, as you can tell over here, Jeff, we're missing a certain person. And because he's not sitting here, he gets this. Mr. Moody is not with us today.
I know why he's not here.
Why?
I have some inside information.
Oh, do
Are you ready for this?
Ooh, please tell. Please.
Okay.
Tell. Wait. Hold on. Okay.
So there was a crisis at the Moody household,
Okay.
and it happened to be today.
Okay.
One of the dogs
Okay.
jumped up
Okay.
and grabbed Elf off the shelf and ripped it to shreds.
You're
Like,
being serious.
Completely into shreds.
You're being
so Moody had to go out, get a costume, and now he's sitting on his shelf with the costume, not moving. That's why he couldn't show up. He can't move. It's Elf on the Shelf. And the kids haven't figured it out yet. They think it's the real Elf on the Shelf. So that's what he's doing. That's why he's busy. So
instead of Elf on the Shelf, it's
Moody
like
on the Shelf.
Moody on the Shelf?
Yeah.
It doesn't really rhyme.
It's a good t-shirt, by the way. You should probably get that going.
Moody on the... I don't know. I got
The
nothing.
tootie.
It's Moody on the
Is he sitting
tootie?
on his butt? It's Moody on the tootie.
So he is not here today. So yeah, he's apparently dealing with a crisis right now. He's acting like an elf on the shelf right now.
That's right.
And his kids just didn't realize, huh?
They haven't figured it out yet.
That's homeschooling for
They
you.
keep asking.
I'm just kidding, Moody.
Where's the drum roll? That's beautiful.
I got to get the drum roll.
I got it.
Oh, yeah, you got it?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's something like that. So you beautiful bunch of dark passengers know that we're just a couple of musicians and assholes that love history and can't get enough of the mysterious. We want you all to know how much it means to us that you're listening to us at this very moment. your reviews and support really do make all of the hard work worthwhile, and it is a lot of work. So if people out there listening right now, you're like, oh, it's going to be easy. Yeah, it's really not.
No. And speaking of support, I like everybody to take a chance and go listen to the Sisters.
The Sister Skeleton.
Sister Skeleton.
I got to stop calling them skeleton. I know.
Yeah,
I do that
it's
all
easy
the
to
time.
do.
I apologize for it. It's the Sister Skeleton.
Yeah.
And they're
Their Christmas episode just released. It's really good. And by the way, gals, I'm going to call them gals.
gals,
Like
ladies,
gals, pals.
ladies.
Okay. Gals, if you're listening, which I'm sure you will be,
Hopefully.
you need to do the Walmart segment that you talked about in your episode.
Ooh.
That is fucking gold.
Yeah.
So they're talking about doing a Stories of Walmart segment every episode.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Like that alone right there. That
Yeah.
could be its own podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
that'd
it's
be great.
brilliant, and you guys need to do that. So that's my suggestion.
That's awesome. And also, I was a huge fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin too. So
I know.
Yeah.
I caught so much shit from everybody. People are like, "Oh, my dog's name is Austin. Oh, my nephew's name is Liam," and all this shit. It's like, well, whatever.
Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, make sure you guys are going over there and checking out the Sisters Skeleton.
Sisters.
We call them the Sisters Skeleton, though. Anyway, and so your reviews and support really do make all the hard work worthwhile. Like we're saying, and saying that, please run on over. Just stop what you're doing right now. Go over to Apple Podcasts and just, it takes like a few minutes, or just go in there and leave us a review. Leave us a 5-star review.
I'm still up for recipes. I mean,
Recipes would be
haven't got
cool.
it
You can
in
just
a
say,
while.
happy fucking whatever you celebrate around this time is, or you can just say, fuck.
do some coding. Like, make some weird thing that we got to figure out. Like
Yeah.
a riddle.
Or simply put fuck 2020. That feels good.
That's true.
That does feel really good.
Or Moody on the Tootie.
So it really does help, and we're not sure why. It just does. They're algorithms and shit. And you can leave any review you guys would like to, but whatever. Reach out to us.
It's a monopoly by Steve Jobs.
Yeah, it probably is. Well, he's not here anymore, so
It's still a monopoly.
yeah, oh yeah, everything is now. You can also find us on Spotify and iHeartRadio by typing the Midnight Train podcast in their search bar and clicking the follow button. You'll then get each episode as they are released. And Patreon subscribers will be getting a couple of new ones, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a couple different things. Of course, we do the day the music.
Did you bite your tongue?
What am I, Mike Tyson?
Did you burn your tongue?
I burnt my
today?
tongue. Yes.
You did?
Yeah. The Day the Music Died series, we do that on there, and we're doing a bunch of different ones too. So make sure, it's fun. So go over to patreon.com/the Midnight Train Podcast, or head over to the midnighttrainpodcast.com. Pick
And
up
look,
some merchandise and sign up there.
It helps us out a lot because Moody's expensive. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Like, you and I are pretty cheap.
Yeah.
We do this for free, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't cost it. But Moody, he's got a writer. He's got demands.
Beard oil.
Beard oil.
Yeah.
God, what else? He's got his own custom toilet paper in your bathroom.
in the High Life.
Only he could use in your bathroom.
Right.
He's expensive.
Listen, a year's supply of High Life for that guy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot. So
So if you guys want to keep hearing Moody, we need to help. You need to help pitch in his paycheck here.
But we're not asking for anything for free. We're going to give you bonus episodes all the time, just crazy bonus shit that we're going to be doing. And coming up in this year, we're also going to be giving like discounts on our merch. We're going to be throwing up some new merch stuff that only you guys are going to be able, the Patreon subscribers.
Fecal fighters.
Are going to like some fecal fighters, which by the way, totally started working on it.
Did you?
Oh yeah. It's going to be great. So yeah, it'll be fun. And you listen, sign up for our Facebook group while you're up there tinkering around on the internet, the interwebs.
There's a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So listen, let's turn down the lights.
What are we doing here?
Let's adjust our seats, grab a drink. But first, I have a special song for our drink pop just for you today, Jeffrey.
All right, I can't wait.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let's
hear
let's do this. Here's a toast to all of you as well.
Glasses ring, are you listening? In the bar, beer is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight. Drinking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is our trouble.
Yeah.
I remember when we did this.
Yeah, in my basement, in my old house.
Yeah.
Song as we grab the beer bong. Drinking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow, we could be on snowman.
Now,
It's
can
so
we
much
Can we
fun.
sue ourselves?
We're not going to get much money out of that.
That's true.
Yeah. But it's a good tune. If you guys are wondering what that was exactly, that was Jeff and I recorded a rendition of Walking in a Winter Wonderland.
On a whim, too. I think
Yeah.
I was heading over to your house just to hang
was
out.
just
And you're
Christmas
like, dude,
time.
let's do a Christmas song. I'm like, all right, fuck it. And we did it in, 10 minutes?
We knocked it out super quick. But except
That's
it's
how good we are.
it's drinking in a winter wonderland. And it's
Yes.
so awesome. And if you guys, I think it's available online or something like that for Blackout Superstar. You can go and find that somewhere.
I'm sure it's somewhere out there.
I'm sure it is. So listen, what we're talking about today is a story that I actually heard I listened to another podcast that actually talked about this years ago.
Okay.
And I was really intrigued by it. And they touched on it, but they didn't get really in depth. All right. So are you familiar with what we're talking about today at all?
No clue.
All right.
Never even heard of it.
Okay. So on our train ride today, we are heading to sunny Florida.
There's a lot of shitty stuff in Florida, and I know I'm going to get shit for that.
No,
but
they get it. They get it.
You think they do?
Oh, yeah. They get it.
Yeah.
They're in Florida. Like, we're in Cleveland. We get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we get it. It's
Okay.
fine. So this is much more than Florida Man, or one of the Florida Man stories. This is a crazy story of one of the worst boys' schools ever to exist. There were
Now,
many.
when you say boys' school, is this a private school?
Like private schools, they send boys off to.
Is this a Catholic school, or is it just a regular private school?
I will find out.
Oh,
Yeah.
spoilers!
Yeah. So,
All right.
there were many of these, schools around the country, but this place has a reputation for being one of the worst. It's been known by several names over the years, but most people know it as the Arthur G. Dozier School for Boys. Now, we're going to talk about the history and atrocities that happened at the school that opened on January 1st, 1900.
Oh, geez, that's old.
Yeah, and closed pretty recently on June 30th, 2011.
Oh,
Yeah. So 111-year reign of fucking terror. So the school was located in Marianna, Florida, and covered 1,400 acres. A second campus was opened in the town of Okeechobee in 1955. And the school was first organized under an 1897 act of the legislature and began operations on the Marianna campus on January 1st, 1900, as the Florida State Reform School.
that's where all the bad kids were.
Right. So if you were a bad little bastard, that's where you got sent off to.
See, it used to be you go to military school. That was the thing, like in the 50s. Like when my dad, he would tell me stories all the time. Like when he would be a little asshole, my grandpa would be like, "I'm sending you to military school, you little son of a bitch." And then he would straighten his shit out and stop. That was like the threat that they always got in the 50s.
See, mine was, "I'm just going to punch you right in the face." Mine was a little
that
different.
works too.
Yeah. different households, Jeff. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it was overseen by 5 commissioners appointed by the governor, William Dunnington Bloxham, who were to operate the school and make biennial reports to the legislature. Sometime thereafter, the commissioners were replaced by the governor and cabinet of Florida, acting as the board of commissioners of state institutions.
Oh, boy.
In 1914, the name was changed to the Florida Industrial School for Boys, and in 1957 to the Florida School for Boys. In 1955, the Okeechobee campus opened, and in 1967, the name of the Marianna campus was changed to the Arthur G. Dozier School for Boys in honor of a former superintendent of the school. The Marianna site was originally divided into north and south sides. The south side was known as number 1.
North side, south side. I could see him like flipping up their, number 1 and gang signs.
Well, it's kind of fucked up because the south side was known as number 1 and was for white students only.
Oh.
Where the north side was number 2 and for black students only.
So it looks like a concentration camp, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah, that's what
Like,
that's
I'm looking
pretty
at
much
these
what it
pictures,
was.
and it's like barbed wire. And you know what it looks like? It looks like the shitty outhouse when you go to like a trailer park or or even just a regular park. And they have that like crappy hut with the 2 bright lights on the front. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it
with barbed wire around it.
We'll make sure we post up some pictures of this for you guys to check it out. It's pretty fucked up. Well, the school remained segregated until 1966. So Boot Hill Cemetery was located on the north side, which would be number 2. In 1929, an 11-room concrete block detention building, also containing 2 cells, one for white and one for black students, was constructed to house incorrigible or violent students, the site at the time not being fenced. Students called it, quote, the White House. In the 1950s and 1960s, it was the site of most of the beatings of the students. After corporal punishment at the school was abolished in 1967, the building was used basically just for storage. Shortly before the facility was closed, Dozier was a fenced 159-acre high-risk residential facility. Yep, there it is. Yeah, it looks like a freaking compound.
Yeah, it does.
For over 104 boys aged between 13 to 21 who had been committed there by a court.
Oh, okay, so it's not like their parents just dropped them off because they were sick of their shit.
Right. No, this was like, you fucked up. This is where you're going.
Yeah.
Their average length of stay at Dozier was 9 to 12 months. They lived in several cottages, with each boy having an unlocked room. All right, so in 1903, an inspection uncovered that children at the school were commonly kept in leg irons.
What the hell is a leg iron?
Leg irons, like they
Should I
would
look that up?
They would clamp your leg with this shackle and would have chains on it. And like, you ever see those guys
like
who are
just
walking out? That,
In the prison? Yeah.
Those are leg irons, yeah. After this, the school was investigated 6 times in its first 13 years. In 1914, there was a fire in one of the dorms, and the fire killed 6 students and 2 staff members.
Because they can't get out because of the leg iron, right?
Well, that, and it's just, let's just say it's it wasn't taken care of very well. We'll put it that way.
It looks like that.
Yeah. So during the Spanish flu epidemic in 1918, it was recorded that 11 students died, but they were not named and documented in the recorded burials of the Boot Hill Cemetery, which is fucked up. A 13-year-old boy was sent there in 1934 and died 38 days later. There's no record of what caused his death. In 1968, Florida Governor Claude Kirk said after a visit to the school where he found overcrowding and poor conditions that, quote, somebody should have blown the whistle a long time ago. At this time, the school housed 564 boys, some for offenses as minor as school truancy, running away from home, or incorrigibility, including cigarette smoking.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, imagine that. Oh, you got caught smoking. You're going to this fucking place where who knows what's going to happen to you.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Especially back then, you think that would be like allowed, because that was like the thing back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if anybody thought you were just not right, they could just send you away.
Huh.
You know what I mean? If you weren't acting correctly, So the kids there ranged in age from 10 to 16 years of age. 10. A 10-year-old going there.
That's crazy.
Fucking A. The White House was closed in 1967. Officially, corporal punishment at the school was banned in August of 1968. So that means since 1900 to 1968, they were pretty much allowed to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do to these boys. Exactly. In 1969, as part of a governmental reorganization, the school came under the management of the Division of Youth Services of the newly created Department of Health and Rehabilitation. Oh, fuck. I was doing so well.
It's like your personal goal every show.
Every show. I just wanted to see if I could just get by.
Start putting like little tick marks in your notes, and see like how much you progress every episode.
Have a little marker like, yay, it's been 10 minutes. Yay. Rehabilitative. There it is. Rehabilitative services. There were 81 school-related deaths of students from 1911 to 1973. Yes, you heard that right. 81 school-related deaths. 31 of these boys were said to be buried on the school grounds, with other bodies, quote, shipped home to families or buried in unknown locations.
That's, how did they get away with that?
We'll keep going through this. It's a fucked up story. Like I said, I heard this a while ago, and I was just like, I can't believe something like this actually took place. And it's so, like, under the radar. Like, most people don't even know this fucking thing actually happened. So,
I mean, it is Florida, but...
Aw, Florida, we love you. We're just kidding. Kind of. No, just saying. So there are 31 simple crosses as grave markers at the cemetery installed in the 1960s and 1990s. They have been found not to correspond to specific burials.
I saw a picture of it, and it's just PVC pipe.
Yep, that's all
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's like 3-inch PVC pipe and a cross.
Right. So basically, they found out that these, kids were buried there, and they just put up these makeshift kind of grave markers.
Yeah. $50, Home Depot, done.
That's it. An inspection done in 1982 revealed that boys were hogtied and kept in isolation for weeks at a time. A lawsuit was filed by the ACLU over this issue and several other issues at this facility and 3 other juvenile facilities in Florida. At this point, the school was housing 105 students aged 13 to 21. In 1985, the media reported that young ex-students of the school, sentenced to jail terms for crimes committed at Dozier, had subsequently been the victims of torture by guards at the Jackson County Jail. So these people are just getting all kinds of fucked up. There was no kind of they just did whatever the fuck they wanted to.
Do we go over who the guy in charge is?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So the teens were usually hanged by handcuffs to the bars of their cells, usually for an hour at a time. So they would have to stand there and have handcuffs on their hands and would be tied or cuffed to the bars hours at a time, just sitting there with their arms up like this.
I bet you the ones that did make it home never smoked again. If you want to quit smoking, this is the way to do it.
It's a hell of a deterrent. And listen, we're not making fun of the fact of what actually happened here. And another reason that I wanted to do this is because this upcoming year, and just a side note here, I know we normally do for the mental health stuff, so we have like NAMI and stuff like that, but I want to change it up where everything we sell as far as merchandise or whatever goes towards child abuse.
Oh, nice.
And this was kind of my segue into that because I grew up being abused as a kid, and it fucking sucks. And so we're not laughing at that. We're just laughing at the fact that these situations actually fucking took place.
Well, I mean, let's be real. We make fun of every situation there is.
That's true.
That's what we do. Mildly.
Right. Oh, we're not laughing at the people who died or got hurt or anything like that, but the fact that it happened, like fucking shit.
Comedy doesn't Band-Aid anything.
This is very true. So the guards said that this practice was approved by their superiors. Of course it was.
Yeah.
In 1994, the school was placed under the management of the newly created Florida Department of Juvenile Justice.
Isaiah, is that you?
No, I'll see myself out. The Juvenile Justice, which operated the school until its closure in 2011. By this time, the school had facilities to house 135 inmates. Many of the boys sent there had been convicted of rape or of committing, quote, lewd acts on other children.
Well, now is it bad that they suffered then? I mean, let's get real for a minute. What's your, you know how people stand on either side of the line, where you're either one of those people that like, if eye for an eye, right, or you're one of those people that everybody deserves a second chance. I'm eye for an eye all day long. I'm eye for an eye to, I guess, there's always contingencies and everything. There's always something that's going to sit there and kind of be the outside of the norm. Yeah. So like, to me, if a 13-year-old did something nasty to, say, a 10-year-old, is there room for rehabilitation? Is this just a 13-year-old that did something stupid because they're not really there? I mean, you got to look at all the facts. Now, if you're an adult and you do something to a 10 or 13-year-old, fuck you. You should die. Period. Yeah. Period. I don't think there should be any kind of rehabilitation. There should not be this whole fucking, we're going to be put on a radar. You could have like a moral age. Yeah, thing. But again, too, it also stems to, you got to think. See, I don't, though. Really? Because I feel like the 13-year-old, if they did rehabilitate him or tried to, he would just go do it again when he's 21 and 30, and he would be that guy that you're talking about. So you don't think there's any rehabilitation? No. Really? Not when with shit like that, no. I really don't think so. There's lots of, well, I see, that's the thing. Now, like, okay, stealing, like, stealing a car, stealing shit from a store, or drugs, stuff like that. Some of it, no, but yeah, a lot of it can be rehabilitated. But a deep-seated mental issue like that, that's where I was actually going to say right there. Like, you've got to, so if somebody who is, let's just say a 40-year-old man goes and does something stupid and fucking diddles a little kid or something like that, which, fuck, if that person is, let's just say, mentally handicapped, has some sort of mental incapability, does that person get a pass because of that, or no? So in your eyes, they don't. No. So you're just kill them all and let God sort them out. No, not kill them all, but it may not be his fault, but he should have been raised the right way, whether it have been a facility or parents or family. I mean, you have to take this. That's the problem right now with the world. I know we're getting deep, guys. I know. Everybody's like, whoa, we're not used to this from you guys. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. Yeah. You have to look at it this way, like, especially nowadays, parents just put their fucking kids in front of Fortnite and Netflix, and that's it. Yeah, I agree. And I'm guilty of it myself. Like, my son plays fucking video games a lot, and I've been slowly trying to break him away from that. Same here with my daughter. You know what I mean? She's always on her phone, and I'm like, let's do something else. You have to give and take a little, because all the kids are doing, and then if you pull them away from it, then they feel like they're like Amish and like have no life. Right. If you're Amish, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna get hate mail all the time. What? No, you can say, I don't believe any Amish people are listening to this, right? I don't think they're allowed to. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hey, Amish people. Unless they're Mennonites, eh? And I think Mennonites can't. Sorry. I don't know. They're not Canadian. It was fitting. So anyways, what the fuck? We're guilty of this nowadays because we're not raising kids right with the right morals. That's why we have a cancel culture. That's why they want everything for free. That's why it's, it's the way it is. Well, because we don't instill the morals and respect like our parents did and their parents before them. We don't do it anymore. When we as a society
were no, and again, sorry for getting deep on you folks here, but I grew up, I was abused as a kid, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I was. It was pretty rough, and it sucked. But there's a very fine line between discipline and abuse.
Mm-hmm.
When they took away a parent's ability to discipline their child, not abuse, there's a big fucking difference there.
Yeah.
But when they took that away, that's when everything went out the fucking window.
Yeah.
When I see little fucking kids fucking cussing at their parents or throwing or smacking them and shit like that, get the fuck, what the fuck? No, my kids would never, ever, ever even possibly think about that with me. Because first of all, I'll take you outside and fist fight you.
But do you understand that's where I'm coming from?
My kids are all older, real quick, just so everyone knows that. I'm not going to fight like my 13-year-old. You know what I
It'd
mean?
be amazing.
Yeah.
You get your ass kicked.
I'd probably get my ass kicked. Yeah, that's true.
But, that's if you go full circle from that. So, no. Whether he's mentally handicapped, no matter the situation, if he was brought up properly and raised correctly, and I'm not saying like you raised one way or the other. If you're raised with normal values, normal morals, and respect, you're going to know in the back of your head before he would go and do that. He's going to know that that's bad and he shouldn't do that.
Well, that's the moral side.
If that wasn't there, he wasn't taught. He's just going to do it.
Well, that's where the mental problems come in, is because somebody who's mentally insane or whatever doesn't know that that's wrong. But you're also talking about two different things too. You're talking nature versus nurture, where some people are just born to be bad versus people that are raised to be bad. You know what I mean? Some people, these things have been coming out recently that like they're doing more like with genetics and stuff, that some people are genetically predisposed to having these issues. And a lot of the stuff, like when it comes to, because dude, all I do is listen to this shit all day long, every day.
Right.
And, it's coming out now that, if you go and look at the history of these people who are like mass murderers and serial killers and shit like that, that there is a connection between that and like brain injuries and like head injuries and shit like that. So that's another side of the spectrum. Right. It's all relative. You know what I mean?
Put it this way. Do you think if Charlie Manson had June Cleaver for a mom instead of a mom that sold him for beer,
and that would be
a lot of the shit would have happened that would
be nurture.
But that's what I'm saying.
No, 100%.
I mean, that's where,
I agree.
That's where like 99.9% of the issues
I agree that a lot
know?
of it could be avoided if people actually gave a shit and took time with their fucking kids.
So turn off fucking Netflix, listeners. Cancel Fortnite. Take your kid outside and throw a baseball at him. Who cares if you hit him? He's got to learn how to deal with pain.
Yeah, and while you're doing it, listen to the podcast.
Exactly.
Right?
Teach him.
Right, and just sit there and go, listen, Billy, do you hear what they're talking about? This is why I have to smack you from time to time.
Listen.
Not beat you. There's a difference. If your kid talks back to you, you should smack the taste out of their fucking mouth. I'm sorry. You should.
Just get a good whap and just be like,
yeah.
And his name is John C.
And walk away like slow motion.
Anyway, so on September 16th, 1998, a resident of the school lost his right arm in a washing machine.
Oops.
That sucks. A lawsuit was filed. Wait, hold on. September 16th, 1998. It seems kind of odd to lose your arm in a washing machine in 98. Like, okay, so if it said like 1948.
Was he trying to fix it?
Remember the old crank washing machines? I could see you get your arm in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it says a lawsuit was filed against the institution and the plaintiff was awarded an undisclosed amount in 2003. In April 2007, the acting superintendent of the school and one other employee were fired following allegations of abuse of inmates. Shocker. The state officially acknowledged that abuses had taken place there, and the White House Boys, a growing group of adult survivors who had been held there in the 50s and 60s, were speaking out to the press. So you can actually look this up, too. It's called the White House Boys, and they're actually the Dozier people who were there and actually witnessed or were a part of this whole fucking thing. In October 2008, several of them attended a ceremony to install a historic plaque at the White House that acknowledged the past. The news was carried nationwide. So a lot of people may have actually heard about this, but most people don't. When I mentioned it, they're like, oh, I didn't even know that actually happened. In late 2009, the school failed its annual inspection. Among other problems, the inspection found that the school failed to deal properly with the numerous complaints by the boys held there, including allegations of continued mistreatment by the guards. State Representative Darrell Rosen said the system was struggling to move on from a long-standing, quote, culture of violence and abuse. So basically, it's been happening. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. So the U.S. Department of Justice conducted a survey of 195 U.S. facilities, including the Florida School for Boys, According to its 2010 report, 11.3% of boys surveyed at the school reported that they had been subject to sexual abuse by staff
Oh boy.
using force in the last 12 months. And 10.3% reported that they had been subject to it without the use of force.
Do you ever wonder why? And you listen to this stuff all the time. I don't, but you listen to true crime all the time and the serial killers
too much.
and all that.
Yeah.
Why does it always come to sex?
Because
Like, what is that about? Like, it always, every story you hear, it always comes back to sex, like with abuse and stuff like that.
it's not about the sex, it's about the power. Period.
Okay, so it's like
power.
a dominant.
It's power.
Dominant.
100%.
Thing. Yeah.
There's another podcast that actually uses the term. It's not about me feeling bad. It's about you, or it's not about me feeling good. It's about you feeling bad.
Okay.
So it's that power.
Does that make sense?
You're keeping that edge over them,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you feel like you can control them. You're controlling the situation. And these are normally people that can't control any other aspect of their life. So this is how they do it.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
that's where sex
I always
comes in.
wondered because it's like that's all you ever hear. Like every time they
Yeah.
talk about anything, it always comes down to like sex, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's super fucked up. Well, 2.2% reported sexual victimization by another inmate. The DOJ said these percentages meant the home was deemed to have neither, quote, high nor, quote, low rates of sexual victimization compared with other institutions assessed in the survey. So, in other words, 11.3% of boys being raped by staff isn't low or high. So, this is normal.
It's normal. What year was this?
2010.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's not too long ago.
What the fuck?
Yikes.
That's it. Oh, ugh. So in July 2010, the state announced its plan to merge Dozier with the JJOC, creating a single new facility, the North Florida Youth Development Center, with an open campus and a closed campus. However, the following year, claiming budgetary limitations, the state decided to close both facilities on June 30th, 2011. Remaining students were sent to other juvenile justice facilities around the state. So now, after Hurricane Michael, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office was given the property, now known as Endeavor, to relocate from their damaged offices. All right. So there is the condensed, very kind of quick history of the school and the site.
So it's a fucked up place.
Yeah, a lot of fucked up shit happened.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't give a fuck. These poor kids just were in the fucking system. Okay, so now we're going to get into some crazy shit that actually went on there. Not that all that shit that we talked about wasn't crazy, because it fucking is. First, we have the story of Willy Haines and his experience with the school and the infamous White House. The story comes from an incredible article from the Tampa Bay Times. In the late 1950s, a 13-year-old kid who slicked back his long hair like Elvis stood in front of a judge in Tampa. A car had been stolen from the neighborhood. Someone said they saw Willy Haines driving it. Willie didn't know how to drive, but the judge didn't know that. Here was a boy who grew up in a little house off Columbus Avenue in 6 Mile Creek, a scrappy little neighborhood on Tampa's eastern edge, where a poor kid learned early how to protect himself. When the judge warned the boy to behave or he'd be sent to a reform school in Marianna, Willie surprised the court. Why can't I go now, he says. Yeah, probably not the best. So he had heard
He's that tough guy.
Yeah. So he heard the Florida School for Boys had a band and a football team and maybe even Boy Scouts, and it didn't cost a penny to participate.
He's like, it's better than regular school.
Right, exactly. He was thinking, oh, this sounds awesome. He kissed his mother goodbye at the courthouse and left Tampa in the back of a state cruiser. Big, beautiful, oblivious Florida, blurred by outside, but blurring, outside the window of the car as he drove by. Willie wasn't scared as the state car pulled onto the gravel road that led to the state's only boys' juvenile reformatory, the Florida School for Boys. No fences, manicured lawns, tall pines, and stately buildings. It looked like college. It had to be better than home, obviously. Kind of sucks where he was at. Inside, he signed a ledger. William Haines Jr., April 11th, 1958. A boy escorted Willy Haines to Tyler Cottage and told him to keep his belongings in locker number 252. He was given a toothbrush and pajamas and his own military bunk. The poor kid from Tampa felt like he was finally home. He was there barely a week when it happened. Some bullies caught him outside the showers, and the next thing he knew, he was in the middle of a tangle of feet and fists. Willie knew how to fight, and he was choking one of his attackers in a headlock when a cottage father busted in. Cottage father would be one of the people that keep an eye on the particular room that they're in.
It's a crazy title.
Yeah, cottage father.
I am cottage father.
I'll be your cottage father from here on out. If y'all don't like what I got, But I'm going to have to take you outside, show you a little bit of what's to do. So the school's disciplinarian, R.W. Hatton, asked Willie who he had been fighting, but the boy would not give up the names. Better to be punished than be branded a puke.
A puke?
A puke is what they call them.
Puke of Hazard. Remember the Pukes of Hazard?
I don't think that's it.
There was a local punk band.
Was it really?
Yeah, Pukes of Hazard.
You're kidding me.
I swear to God.
They were called the Pukes of Hazard.
You didn't know them?
I did not know that.
It was the fan. No one's gonna know this, but you and me. Was it Cypher? Broadview Gutters. What's his name? Jason
Clark.
Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like one of his first bands. Pukes of Hazard. S. Moody.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious. Jason Clark. What a good dude.
Yeah.
So anyway, he basically said that he wasn't going to talk. So you're going down, Hatton told him. So Hatton's like, all right, buddy, you don't want to tell me what's happening? I'm going to take you down there myself. So they dragged him across that manicure campus toward the squat concrete building called the White House. They dragged him through the door. Willy Haines, who had asked the judge to send him here, who had wanted to throw a football under the pines. Over 18 months, the men dragged Willie into the White House again and again. Quote, lay down, hold the rail, don't make a sound. He could hear the strap coming. It started with the pivot, the shuffle of boots on concrete. The strap hit the wall, then the ceiling, then thighs and buttocks and back, and it felt like an explosion. When he got back to the cottage, Willie stood in the shower and let the cold water wash bits of his underwear from his lacerations as his blood ran down toward the drain. Many others suffered the same horrors as Willie. As the boys grew up, the memories stayed with them as they became men, many sporting both physical and mental scars. Some of these men gathered at the Florida School for Boys on October 21st. What is my mouth doing? October 21st, 2008. Again,
You must have had some hot soup today.
I guess. I must have burnt my tongue. Again, this is also from the Tampa Bay Times coming up here. Quote, the last time they had stepped on the sprawling campus, they were fresh-faced punks with the world before them. Now their hair was gray and their faces sagged. Their backs ached from a night in motel beds. They carried pictures of children and grandchildren in their wallets. Dick Cullen had flown in from Baltimore, where he owns an electrical contracting company. The 65-year-old was tormented by the memory of seeing a boy being stuffed into an industrial dryer.
Oy.
Next to him stood Michael O. McCarthy, a writer and political activist from Costa Rica, who was beaten so badly he was treated at the school infirmary. To his left was Roger Kaiser, a chicken soup for the soul contributor who had driven down from Brunswick, Georgia, bent on retribution. On the end was a quiet man named Robert Straley, who sells glow lights and carnival novelties. He drove up from Clearwater. He had been having recurring nightmares of a man sitting on his bed. Now, these are all dudes that have been there and saw some shit go down. Then there was Willy Haines. He was 65 and went by Bill now, a tall, broad man. Haines had worked for 30 years at the Alabama Department of Corrections. Haines didn't feel good. There were plenty of places he'd rather be, but he knew he had to do this. End quote. These guys all got there, and it's basically like a kind of a form of, well, first of all, like the one guy said, retribution, but it's more of like a therapeutic thing where it's like you got to go back and kind of face your bullshit. What noise was that? What was that?
That's a notification.
What is it? Are your clothes done in the dryer?
Yeah, it's exactly what it was.
Is it really?
No, I wish. How awesome would that be?
That's freaking rad.
Alexa, dry the clothes.
That'd be great. The men now call themselves the White House Boys. According to the article, the men remember the same things. Quote, blood on the walls, bits of lip or tongue on the pillow, the smell of urine and whiskey, the way the bed springs sang with each blow, the way they cried out for Jesus or mama, the grinding of an old fan that muffled their cries, the one-armed man who swung the strap. They remember walking into the dark little building on the campus of the Florida School for Boys in bare feet and white pajamas, afraid they'd never walk out. Now, listen, I had a pretty rough one growing up, you know what I mean? But nothing like that. Could you imagine?
Yeah, and the sad thing is there's just no one there to help them. So, I mean, it's a little different. Obviously, abuse is abuse, and it's not great for anybody. But I feel like, and maybe this is just me, I feel like if you're like at home being abused, you at least have like teachers, friends, guidance counselors. Like you have opportunities to reach out to people. You're not stuck like these kids were with nothing.
They were discarded.
There's no one to reach out to.
Completely discarded.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Just discarded. So according to the men, boys were dragged to the White House in 1s and 2s and 3s, and sometimes there was a line outside, and sometimes a white dog kept watch. The White House boys are former students, as we talked about earlier, who had been held at the school in the 1950s and 60s, and they began to share accounts of abuses that they had suffered or observed against students. By the early 2000s, there were about 400 members, survivors of the school from the 1950s and 60s. Since the early 2000s, members of the group began to speak publicly about their experiences to the media and to challenge the state to investigate practices and personnel at the school. More than 300 men have publicly recounted abuse and torture at the school. The survivors have some internal struggles and set up more than one website. So more than 300 men have come forth and said that yes, that this has actually taken place.
That's crazy.
This is fucking hell on earth, man. You know what I mean?
How this kept going for so long is mind-blowing.
Absolutely. And it's just fucked. So in 2009, the Florida School for Boys was the subject of an extensive special report. Allegations focusing on the 1960s included claims that one room was used for whipping white boys and another for black boys. The whippings were carried out by guards using a 3-foot-long belt made of leather and metal and were so severe that the victim's underwear could become embedded in their skin.
Oh, boy.
One former student said that he had seen a boy trapped in a running laundry dryer at the school and suspected the boy was killed. Yeah, fucked, right?
Wow.
Fucked. One former student stated he was punished in the White House 11 times, receiving a total of more than 250 lashes. Others alleged that they were whipped until they lost consciousness and that the punishments were made harsher for boys who cried. Some alumni also stated that there was a, quote, rape room at the school where boys were sexually abused by the guards. The complainant said some of the victims were as young as, and I'm sorry to say this, folks, 9 years old.
Ugh.
Fucking what? What the fuck? In February 2010, the White House boys filed a class action suit for damages against the state government, but it was dismissed by a judge in Leon County, Florida, because the statute of limitations had run out for such a suit. So fuck you, buddy. Fuck that judge. Fucking asshole. A bill introduced in the 2012 session of the Florida legislature to provide compensation to victims of abuse at the school failed to pass. Like, what the fuck? Seriously?
It always comes down to politics and money all the time. Think about this. Obviously, somebody was getting paid off for this to go on that long. Had to been. You're not going to have the same inspector for 100 years. You're going to have multiple inspectors. You're going to have multiple people in charge. I mean,
and the shit's just kept happening.
This is just like a money, like, keep it hush hush,
Yep.
you know? So that just goes to show you, like, the world we live in, how it all runs off of fucking money and politics.
Something was going on for sure. So there have been many positions throughout the years, but no real investigations until 2008. On December 9th, 2008, Florida Governor Charlie Crist directed the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the FDLE, to investigate the allegations of abuse, torture, and murder recounted by the White House boys and their law firm. It took 2 years for the findings to be released. The FDLE conducted more than 100 interviews of former students, family members of former students, and former staff members of the school during the 15-month investigation, but no concrete evidence was found linking any of the student deaths to the actions of school staff or that there had been attempts. Feel better?
Yeah, I think people needed that little little lifting.
They needed to hear you throw up?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just, it breaks up the monotony there.
But there had been attempts by staff, that there had been no attempts by staff to conceal deaths. None of the graves were opened during the investigation. So the investigation determined that the 31 graves at the facility had been dug between 1914 and 1952. So what they're saying is, those graves back there, that was before these people came out and talked about this. What the fuck? It doesn't even make any fucking sense.
I know.
A forensic examination of the White House was conducted. No trace evidence of blood on the walls was found, which, I mean, if it was that long ago, I'm sure it's been cleaned or whatever. Some former Dozier students told investigators that they felt they had, quote, needed the discipline. Troy Tidwell, who is a staff member at the school during that period, said that punishments in the White House were not excessive. He said staff used the leather strap because they were concerned that spankings with wooden paddles, as had previously taken place, might injure the boys. So let's use a belt with fucking metal on it instead of a fucking paddle, which, by the way, growing up, we had I think I told you about this before. We had a board
Yeah.
hanging up by the front door that had holes in it with a handle on it, and it was called the Board of Education.
It's pretty funny. I mean, I'm not laughing at it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty clever.
But I just remember it was always by the front door.
Yeah.
And it was just this ominous thing that you just saw that you're like, yeah, I better not fuck up. You know what I mean?
We had a wooden spoon like you have to cook with.
Yeah.
But it was always a joke because my mom hits like a girl because she is a girl. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, my sister wouldn't like it, but when she hit me, I just laugh. And then, like, when I got old, I think it was like 8, she went to hit me, and I turned and, like, grabbed it like an action movie kind of thing. And I was like, no more.
That's when your dad came in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then the wooden spoon was no more.
Yeah. Broke that bitch over your head. Yeah.
Exactly.
So in its December 2011 report of its investigation at the Dozier School, the Civil Rights Division of the United States Department of Justice made the following findings about staff at the school who were cited for use of excessive force, inappropriate isolation, and extension of confinement. Quote, the youth confined at Dozier and at JJOC were subjected to conditions that placed them at serious risk of avoidable harm in violation of their rights, protected by the Constitution of the United States. During our investigation, we received credible reports of misconduct by staff members to youth within their custody. The allegations revealed systemic, egregious, well, that's a good word, and dangerous practices exacerbated by a lack of accountability and controls. These systemic deficiencies exist because state policies and generally accepted juvenile justice procedures were not being followed. We found that staff did not receive minimally adequate training. We also found that proper supervision and accountability measures were limited and did not suffice to prevent undue restraints and punishments. Staff failed to report allegations of abuse to the state supervisors and administrators. Staff members often failed to accurately describe use of force incidents and properly record use of mechanical restraints. So basically, yeah, all this happened, but here's why.
Right.
They just didn't report this, or they weren't trained correctly, or bullshit. I'm saying bullshit.
I'll agree with you on that.
And to you, there's another one, you fucking dicks.
Shit.
What was
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Who is that?
It's a soundboard guy.
A soundboard guy?
Yeah.
Is that a new character?
He
on the
doesn't
show?
really have a name yet. But, he just...
Why you bullying me?
Because I want to.
So Dr. Aaron Kimmerer, or Kimmerly, is a forensic...
You're a poopy head.
Sorry.
You're a poopy head?
Yes.
Dr. Kimmerly is a forensic anthropologist and University of South Florida associate professor who has led a USF team of anthropologists, biologists, and archaeologists exploring the Marianna campus in a project authorized by the state. All right.
So they want to know the whole truth.
They're
and
wanting
nothing but the truth.
They're wanting to dig in the ground. They want to see these graves. They're wanting to get at it. So the stories of the White House boys piqued her interest as she had worked with international groups to identify remains and burials in areas of warfare. She thought the specialists at her university could aid the state in identifying undocumented areas of burial by using current technology and scientific techniques. She was especially curious why there are no records of the locations of the burials, as is customary at state prisons, hospitals, and similar institutions. In 2012, the team used ground-penetrating radar and some excavation to identify where bodies are buried. However, in order to determine if the cause of death was from injury, illness, or murder, the bodies must be exhumed. Yuck. Given the long history of reported violence at the school, many people believe that some students died because of abuse. Under existing law, exhumations can be done only at the request of a family member, which I believe that's actually a law here in Ohio as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a federal law. It might be a state.
I think that's everywhere, isn't it?
Is it?
I think. But then again, I don't know. A lot of states have weird shit going on.
Yeah. Like, I think it's illegal to carry a goldfish on the streets of Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I mean, what if you drop it?
Yeah.
Then it's going to fall into the sewer and it's going to mate. And then we're going to have like a gremlin situation where there's goldfish everywhere in Cleveland.
Isn't there a stupid law like it's illegal to make a police horse laugh?
Really?
Yeah.
Because they'll buck off the cop.
I don't know. But isn't that weird? How do you make a fucking horse laugh?
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah, how?
You just go up to it, man, and just stand in front of it and just be like... cop falls off the horse.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
that makes
easy
sense.
to. I can't believe you didn't know that.
Oh, well, all I do is I just show him my dick.
Oh, made me laugh.
Ah!
Oh boy.
Sorry, I had to lighten that shit up a little bit. Yeah. Woo. So anyway, given the long history of reported violence at the school, many people believe that some students died because of abuse. Under existing law, again, exhumations can only be done by the request of a family member, but many of the burials are of students who were here in the early 20th century, and records make it difficult to identify their families. So in other words, they may find bodies, but they can't dig them up. Even though, here's the weird thing though, even though, I don't know, that's so weird. So if you find a body, but it's not documented, so you don't know who it is or what it is, are you still legally not allowed to exhume it? No, that doesn't make any sense. Because if you don't know who the family is, then there's nobody to get authority from.
I thought they were allowed to, and then take the DNA to investigate who it is.
I have no idea.
Like you're telling me, let's say like you're digging a hole in your backyard, and you find out like a skeleton hand. Right? You couldn't just like take that somewhere and be like, hey, I was digging in my backyard and found this.
You'd have to, right?
I would think.
You'd be able to do that. So yeah, I guess I don't understand. So anyway, by December 2012, here's a little kicker for you, Jeff. The researchers indicated that they had located 55 graves on the grounds.
55.
55 fucking graves.
I can't drive. 55.
Given that they had documented nearly 100 deaths at the school, the team believed that a second cemetery was likely to exist. Regardless, 55 fucking graves.
That's a lot.
Like, that's fucking insane.
That's a lot. Like 3, right? 3 would be like, oh man, something's going on here.
Yeah.
10 would be like, okay, this is really fucked up. 55 is like, yeah.
Something's going on up in this bitch.
Put some caution tape up right now.
Thomas Varnado was sent to the Florida School for Boys in 1934 and died there a month later. His nephew, Glenn Varnado, came forward in 2012 saying that he wanted to have his uncle's remains exhumed for reinterment at his reinterment. So in other words, to be buried someplace else, at his family's cemetery near Lakeland. He had visited Dozier School in the 1990s, and a staff member showed him where his uncle might be buried. That location was not the same as the area where the most recent burials were found. The state originally limited the USF team to searching the existing delineated cemetery grounds, saying they did not have the authority to order exhumation of graves. Researchers discuss, the work revealed that using the remains they did find on site, they made 7 DNA identifications and 14 other presumptive matches. All right. Is that making sense here? So
Yeah.
we're trying to get to the fucking bottom of this shit. Many of the unmarked burial sites studied are thought to be of black students who were segregated at the school, which just makes it even fucking worse. The team found that 3 times as many black students died and were buried at Dozier than white students, and that some of those boys were incarcerated for non-criminal charges like running away and incorrigibility.
Oh boy.
What the fuck? Black boys were less likely to be named in historical records as well, reflecting the grim realities of reform school life in the segregated South. You all right over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Jeez, you're so upset about this. You're throwing your
I
shit.
know. It's just,
It's all right, man. It sucks. It sucks. It's bullshit.
this is why Florida just is the worst.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. They eventually uncovered a student's family had actually been sent a coffin filled with planks of wood after a boy named Thomas Curry died there under, quote, suspicious circumstances while escaping. The ledger entry at the Dozier School said he was, quote, killed on RR Bridge, Chattahoochee, Florida.
Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee.
It gets hotter than a hoochie coochie.
I forgot the rest of the words.
I don't know.
Hey, everything in my tractor broke down.
That's probably the worst time to sing that song right there. Anyway, another document at Old Cathedral Cemetery in Philadelphia says he was, quote, killed by a train. No one from Dozier ever reported his death to the state. He was returned in a casket to his family, who in turn buried him in Philadelphia, or so the family thought. It wasn't until a state investigation beginning in 2008 that Curry's death certificate was found at Dozier. It said he died of a crushed skull from, quote, unknown cause.
Oh, I have an idea.
Yeah. And it wasn't until 2014 when University of South Florida anthropologists who have been working to unearth and identify remains on the former campus visited Philadelphia with Pennsylvania authorities that the family actually learned Curry wasn't in the casket. No bones, no clothing, no sign of him at all. So this kid got killed. They didn't tell the state about it, and then they sent a fucking coffin to the parents.
Yeah. Like, here you go.
That didn't have anything in it. Like, what the fuck is going on down here?
Some people getting paid off.
Oh my god, dude! It's just so fucking. It's frustrating. And you see, and again, I knew a little bit about the story, but the more I'm getting into it and stuff, the more I'm like, how in the fuck could this possibly have fucking happened?
Yeah.
So, quote, wood, layers of pieces of wood. Okay, that's what was in there. Said anthropologist Erin Kimmerly, explaining what she and her team found in the casket. Quote, it was completely filled with wooden planks. They sent wooden fucking planks home.
Thinking they wouldn't open it?
Thinking they wouldn't open it, yeah.
Wow, that's ballsy.
Like, here's your kid.
Yeah.
What the fuck? At first, the team thought they had the wrong grave, but then they found Curry's great-grandparents beneath the wood-filled casket. Whoa, so they buried the kid on top of the grandparents' casket? It's kind of weird. Do they do that?
Yeah, it used to.
Really?
It used to be where people were buried on top of each other, like family tiers. So, like, the great-great-grandfather would be on the bottom, right? And then his son would be next. They used to do it like that. Then they started doing side-by-side.
Get the fuck out of here.
Way back in the day, I saw this on, like, Discovery or some shit, like, a couple of years ago. They used to do
shit.
Yeah, on top of each other to save space.
That's crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild. Did you just make all that up?
Yep. You believed it, though, didn't you? So did the listeners. Yeah!
Yeah! Boo to you, you son of a bitch! I fucking knew. You fuck. Anyway.
Oh, I had you sold.
Yeah, it's sold. Like fucking lock, stock, and barrel, dude. I was there. You had
I
me.
should have been a salesman.
Yeah, you should have.
Why didn't I do that?
Yeah, you son of a
Oh,
bitch.
well.
In January 2016, the USF team issued their final report. They had made a total of 7 DNA matches and 14 presumptive identifications from the 51 remains found at the site. A total of 55 burials were identified, but only 13 were made within the cemetery grounds. And, quote, the rest of the graves were outside, in the woods, including under a roadway, brush, and a large mulberry tree, end quote. What the fuck? While they had documented 98 deaths at the site, they were unable to identify any more burials on the grounds. Some bodies may have been sent home to students' families. The USF team will continue to work with other organizations and families on DNA and other means of identification of the remains that were found. They created computer facial approximations from remains to actually help with identification.
So they made deep fakes.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
You could do
kinda-
that now.
Yeah. I can you?
Yeah.
What?
Deep fakes. Have you seen Jason Hagar's?
Oh my God, dude.
Those are the most amazing ones I've ever seen in my life.
It's disturbing. I'll be scrolling through and all of a sudden I see
Yes.
him as like the little girl from the Grinch today. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Right. So, listeners out there, if you're in the Facebook group, Jason Hagar, he's posted a couple times. You can look him up in our group and click on his personal page and just scroll through his news feed for like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, and you're going to see some amazing shit. Like amazing stuff.
Yeah, he likes the deep fake.
Yeah. He's one of the funnier Facebook posters, you know.
Yeah, he's pretty. Jason, we love you, brother.
I love the Grinch one they just did.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh,
The
okay,
little girl.
yeah.
Yeah. It's so fucking weird. Because he has facial hair and shit. And
Or when
everything.
you did the Katy Perry one.
Yeah.
He's like dancing around. Or something.
Well, he also, I don't know if he's posted it in the group or not, but yeah, he just recently got a new dog.
Yeah, the wiener dog.
His little wiener dog,
Yeah.
and it's the cutest damn thing in the world. But I think he got it just because now he can literally say, check out my black wiener.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure, because it's black. It's a black dog.
Makes sense.
And I think that's because he
Yeah.
just posts pictures of it all the time. And
Yeah.
it's the cutest damn thing.
He's been banned, I think, like 3 or 4 times already in this just year alone. I
I'm
think.
not surprised.
Yeah.
So while they had documented 98 deaths at the site, they were unable to identify any more burials on the grounds. And like we said, some of them may have been sent home. Yeah. So they will keep going on this, and they did create the facial approximation thing. And a number of families, including the Glenn Varnado family, have filed requests to have the remains of their children or relatives repatriated. That's a good word.
Yeah. How would you like to be the guy that has to put that shit together?
with the remains.
Like a fucking puzzle.
Ugh. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, that would be. It wouldn't be bad because it'd probably just be bones at this point, obviously.
Right.
But that would be a tough job. I mean, I'm sure a lot of it's missing. I'm sure a lot of it's like worn out, trying to figure out what's what. Do you think you'd just be like, yeah, it's a rib. That's a rib right there. They'll never know. That's a rib.
I'm going to carve this stick to look like a rib. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I always told myself that I could be like a, what do you call him? The guy that works in the morgue and
Mortician?
Yeah, like a mortician. I always told myself I could probably do that because I don't get grossed out by shit. You know what I mean? Like nothing like that. And then I think to myself, the second a child would be put in front of me, I don't think I could handle it.
Yeah, my daughter wanted to do that. She wanted to go to school for that. And I kept telling her, I'm like, there's no way. She's like, you know how kids are, you don't know me. I do what I want. Yeah, and I was like, the very first time you see a dead body, you're going to throw up and pass out.
See, the dead body doesn't bother me.
Because it's not like a movie. It's not like what you see in a movie. It's way different. There's smell. There's sound. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I've always wanted to do? And
smell a dead body?
No.
Oh. Well, because that's what I just said. And you're like,
yeah. No. I always wanted to start, and there's not too many of them. I mean, there are, but I always wanted to start a cleanup company. So after like a horrific accident or a murder
cleaners
or something like that, I always wanted to be a cleaner because you don't have to deal with the bodies.
Yeah, but you know the nasty shit you got to pick up and clean?
but the body's gone. So at that point in time, all you're doing, you're going in there and you're just cleaning up all
brains
the
and
that wouldn't bother me. I don't think, as long as I didn't know what you know what I mean. Like, don't tell me what the hell happened. Just tell me you need it cleaned up. You know what I mean? I could clean it. I could clean that up. You couldn't do that?
I don't know. I have a hard time cleaning up dog poop and puke.
See, I don't have a problem with any of that.
You know what I mean? Like I'm the guy that like puts the shirt over up to my eyes and it's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I put like bags around my hands to clean it up. Like it's just,
dude. I got 4 kids. I've cleaned up everything you can think of.
Yeah, I mean I've done that too, but still to this day, I mean my dog will be like, and I'm like, no, and I like grab her and I try to get to the door as fast as humanly fucking possible.
That like, noise too.
Yeah, because you know it's the bass. It's the bass is coming. So that you like open the door and you throw them out and they just make it. And it's just like, oh, thank God. But sometimes you don't make it and it goes all over the kitchen floor and it's like, so then you go to the cupboard and you open it up and there's no Lysol wipes. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have to raw dog this with some paper towels and water.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I used to have a Doberman Pinscher named Zeke. He was 150 pounds, big motherfucker. He was awesome. And he was one of the most well-behaved, just great dogs, except he would eat basically anything.
Oh,
like
boy.
Anything. If he could find it and he thought it was interesting, he'd just eat it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you'd hear that.
Yeah.
Except when he threw up, he did this thing where like his mouth opened up super wide, like he was throwing up.
Yeah.
And he made this noise. And listeners, I'm going to try to repeat the noise. Not even joking. It goes, ah!
You swear
to God, dude. Like his mouth would open up and he'd go, ah!
See, mine doesn't do that. Mine does the bass,
thing.
And she does that. She'll open up her mouth really wide.
And normally
she does that,
right?
She goes,
yeah,
you know, like that, and then everything comes out.
Yeah.
But it's that you could be in a dead sleep and you're,
yeah.
and it's just like, it wakes me up like instantly. Like, no, I could sleep through alarm clocks. Like the house could be on fire, everybody's screaming. I'm sleeping through it. But when you hear the, it's like, oh shit, it's time to go.
Because you know you're gonna have to clean it up.
Yeah,
yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. So why the fuck would you want to clean up dead body shit? And
I don't know. I just don't think it would bother me. That's all. Plus, they get fucking paid, dude.
Oh, I would imagine
they make a shit ton of because nobody wants to do that. Yeah, because nobody wants to do it.
Yeah,
like it's fucking ridiculous.
You think they're probably not that well because of COVID and stuff. Like it's probably gonna be a shitty job now because now you got to wear masks and all that shit. And
it's only a shitty job if somebody poops. So in March 2014, Governor Rick Scott signed a bill.
Rick Scott. Hey, how you doing? I'm Rick Scott.
Remember, never trust anyone with 2 first names.
Vote for Scott.
That's right.
Rick Scott.
It's fucked up. So he signed a bill authorizing up to $7,500 per burial for those families who wanted to re-enter the remains of relatives identified in unmarked graves at the Florida School for Boys.
What year was this?
2014.
Because that fucking doesn't even cover a funeral cost.
No.
That's not even, at maybe half, depending on how you do it.
I think he's saying he will give you, like, let's just say it costs $10,000. He's going to give you $7,500 up towards it.
How many piece of shit parents do you think took that money and went to the casino?
Hopefully none, but probably 3.
At least.
At least 3,
Yeah.
yeah. So this followed the University of South Florida's report in January, which said they had been able to make matches of 21 sets of remains to known families. In addition, the bill proposes creating a task force to establish a memorial, quote, as well as deciding how to handle the remains of bodies that have yet to be identified or claimed by families. The White House boys also fought to have the bodies of orphans and those that were unidentified to be re-entered far away from the ground at Dozier. So they wanted them, because of the shit that went down there, they were like, listen, we don't know who that is, but if it's a body, get it out of here. It's just bad juju. You know what I mean? It's like fucking poltergeist at this point in time.
Do you think when they were hauling it out, the one guy was, he had the truck open, but they were waiting to load the truck. He's like, let the bodies hit the floor. No?
Fly!
Here we go now.
And as late as 2019, all right, so we're creeping up pretty close here.
That's last year.
Yeah, they are still finding what could possibly be unmarked graves. Dr. Aaron Kimmerly again began an investigation of 27 anomalies discovered by an engineering firm hired by the state's Department of Environmental Protection to help clean up following the Hurricane Michael, according to Florida's Department of State.
Oh, yeah, the hurricane would have unearthed a lot of that crap.
It did
Think
a
about
lot
that,
of
the
shit.
flooding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ugh.
Yeeks.
Though the 27 anomalies discovered by radar are, quote, consistent with possible graves, according to Governor Ron DeSantis, only field work will determine whether human remains are present at the site. The 27 anomalies are located less than 200 yards from a section on the Dozier School property known as Boot Hill Cemetery, where previously USF researchers found 55 fucking graves. So in other words, there's more.
They ran out of room.
Right. Unfortunately, in an update we found, it turns out Kimmerly's team said those anomalies were mostly roots from pine trees moved from the area years ago. So it's probably a good thing that they found just roots. Survivor Charlie Fudge and friend Rachel McCoy pleaded to be allowed on the property during future surveys. Fudge said he remembers a graveyard being on the east side of a set of buildings on the property near Old Air Base Road. Quote, I could sit on my cottage bench and see that cemetery. Fudge said, my mind at 12 years old remembers that cemetery. So these guys, they were there. I'm sure they remember that shit. You know what I mean? Like, Kimberly said her team did not find anything abnormal in that area, but nearby there is an established fenced-in historic cemetery. McCoy, who attended the presentation with Fudge, said letting the men on the property to assist is, quote, what they need. Fudge said he hopes the White House does not get bulldozed over when the property is cleaned up in the future. Quote, that's very meaningful to me and the other men, he said. I'm just an old guy who went there 60 years ago and went through hell. I'm going to assume, he said does not get bulldozed?
Yeah, they want to keep it.
Wow. Why would you want to keep that?
Well, I mean, what if... You got to imagine these kids are going through this shit back in the day. There was probably some kind of like brotherhood, like... They probably had like... They took care of each other and, tried to keep their spirits up and whatnot.
Almost like a moratorium?
Kind of, yeah. So there's probably...
Moratorium.
There's probably like, some positives in memory of that building along with the negatives, obviously.
Oof.
But, you know what I mean?
Take a lot to get over that shit, man.
Yeah.
So John Bell, who spent 8 months at the school, also spoke and said the school, which managed by, quote, corrupt officials of the state of Florida.
Oh, did I not mention that like five times already?
Yes, you did. And, quote, it's been going on for way too long. Yes, we agree. In 2017, the state formally apologized to the survivors and families.
We're sorry.
Sorry, guys.
We're sorry.
For the abuses and deaths that happened at Dozier. More than 500 former Dozier students have come forward over the years to report physical, sexual, and mental abuse at the hands of those who worked there. On June 29th, 2020, Neil Davis, the oldest member of the White House Boys, passed away in a nursing home. He never told most of his family, including his children, that he had been at Dozier and what he'd gone through. The White House Boys vowed to keep fighting for the rights of the victims. There are still 180 people not accounted for. And they said that they could lay it to rest. They're just not going to make it public because they were there. Let them walk through the property. So this is Fudge saying that they want people to come through there and actually like find these spots themselves because they were there. They were there before. Quote, we, the White House Boys, we know what has happened in that school, he said. It's not going to be over until we say it's over. And I agree. There are some really great articles used for this episode. There was a really great series of articles from the St. Pete Times that were reprinted by the Tampa Bay Times that were also recommended. We recommend checking out. And also NPR has a ton of really good info as well. Yeah. So if you guys like that, make sure you are checking out, or not like, because it's kind of hard to like that.
Yeah.
But if you are interested in that and the atrocities that took place there, yeah, get out there and check it out.
Yes.
Yeah. And guess what? It's time for...
Well, actually,
Oh.
I'm going to have to interrupt this because I have a Christmas present.
You have a Christmas present?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So,
Is it a Nintendo Switch?
no.
Fuck.
We got to pay for Moody.
Fuck.
All right. So here's the thing.
All right.
I was going to do WTF today. And this is the Christmas episode. And you know, for a long time, I had an amazing plan going. And because of COVID, it kind of fell through. But, you know, last year we did the Christmas Carol, our own version.
Yes, we did. And
So
it was
year,
a blast.
This year, we were going to do the Wizard of Oz.
We were.
And I had it all scripted out. I got about halfway through. We were going to do songs and everything. It was going to be awesome.
Right.
But COVID hit, and we couldn't get everybody
Fucking
together.
COVID.
And Chainsaw was going to be the Wicked Witch, which is awesome.
Which would have been so great.
I know.
God.
Maybe we'll do it next year after all this shit clears up. So anyways, I had to do something here, and we've been doing the top 10 every week. Okay, we did top 10 gifts,
Right.
which we discovered fecal fighters.
That's right.
We did top 10 gift cards, which I got yelled at because people are doing Walmart cards in our Facebook group. Today, we're not doing top 10 movies.
Wait, when?
Today,
There it is.
we're going to do, because it's Christmas and I'm giving you guys a gift, we're going to do the top 20 fucking Christmas movies of all time.
Ooh.
All right. Are we ready? You okay? you like my intro music?
Oh, my God.
Dude, it's movies. Top 20 movies, man.
Fucking recording. Oh, God. I'm all right.
I had to bring a really good Christmas gift because we couldn't do Wizard of Oz.
That's true. Oh,
so I had to do something. So here we go.
Oh, my God. The fucking recorder. All right, go ahead.
And
What do
this
we
is
got?
our favorite site, IMDb.
IMDb. IMDb.
Okay. And we're going to go 20.
20.
20 to 1.
Going
Here we go.
hard. All right.
Number 20 is Four Christmases,
4 Christmases.
starring a Reese Witherspoon and a Vince Vaughn.
Oh, that's the...
This is a 2008. It's a rom-com, as they call it.
I'm going to see if I know this one. Is this the one where their exes, like they're getting a divorce or whatever?
It says a couple struggles to visit all 4 of their divorced parents on Christmas. So the parents are divorced.
Okay.
All right. I don't think I've seen it. Have you?
I think so, and it probably wasn't good.
Okay. Well, that's number 20. So that's
Okay.
the bottom of the barrel.
All right.
All right. Number 19, Christmas with the Cranks. And I have seen this. This is Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
What's her name?
Bill.
Jamie Lee Curtis is right in front of me. Jesus. Dan Aykroyd. And this is the one where like they live in the development and everybody's trying to outdo each other with Christmas lights.
Dan DeVito.
No, it's Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd. Okay.
And he's like the HOA guy.
Oh, I was
and
thinking
he's
the
like,
one-
oh, you have to have red lights. If you don't have the red lights here.
Yeah,
And-
it was okay because they're getting ready to go on a. They were supposed to go on a cruise, and then their daughter said she's coming into town or
Yes,
whatever.
yeah.
Okay.
I feel
Got
like
it.
Tim Allen's in like every Christmas movie at this point.
Well, he is the Santa Claus.
That's just
Which my prediction is that's number 1.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna see.
Number 18, A Bad Mom's Christmas. So if you've seen Bad Moms with Mila Kunis and who's the blonde haired girl? It's right in front of me again. Jesus, Kristen Bell.
You're good at this.
I know. And the girl from I think it's Catherine Hahn is her name. She's from Step Brothers. She's Derek's wife. And
Oh yeah. She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's so
hilarious.
funny.
So this is like a sequel to Bad Moms, but it's a Bad Moms Christmas.
Right.
So I haven't seen this. Maybe I have seen
I don't
this.
know if I have either.
I think we watched it the other night.
It must be
actually,
really good
but-
if we can't remember seeing
I know.
it. Yeah,
So that's 18.
Yeah.
Number 17 is A Christmas Carol, and this is the Jim Carrey version.
The animated one.
2009. It's
Okay.
animated.
It was cool.
It was okay. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Jim Carrey's just too over the top for me.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
It's cool that he did like every character in that for the most part.
That was
You know what I
cool,
mean? Like,
yeah.
and the way they had him, like it looked like him, but it was like a different character.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat.
number 16. You're gonna love this.
Okay.
You're gonna be mad that it's 16, but it's still good. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold.
A father vows to get his son a Turbo Man action figure for Christmas. However, every store is sold out of them, and he must travel all over town and compete with everybody else in order to find one. Stick around.
Turbo Man.
That's 1996.
It's a good movie.
It was. A good
I actually
movie.
I thought that one was a great movie. Okay.
Number 15. I've never heard of this or seen. It's called Noel. 2019. It stars Anna Kendrick, Shirley MacLaine, Bill Hader, and Kingsley Ben Adir.
That's a ton of huge
It's
actors.
a 6.3. It says Santa's daughter must take over the family business when her father retires and her brother, who is supposed to inherit the Santa role, gets cold
I've
feet.
seen this.
So Bill Hader is the brother.
Yeah. And
Anna Kendrick's the daughter.
Anna Kendrick is the chick from that really fucking horrible movie with the girls that sing, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What's it called?
Are you an Anna Kendrick
Pitch
person?
Harmony?
I'm not. I don't find her
Perfect
attractive
harmony,
at all.
Perfect harmony. Pitch perfect.
Pitch perfect.
I got it.
Do you
Who?
find her attractive at all? I know a lot of people do. I don't. I just don't see it.
I'm married, my friend. I find one person attractive in this world. Okay?
Good answer.
Yes.
Is that your Christmas gift to her?
Yes, it
You're going
is.
to make her listen?
I love you, honey.
Boobs. 'Cause I know she hates it.
Damn it.
Number 14. Any idea?
If that
I'm
was
surprised it's this far down the
15,
list. I thought it would be higher.
It's
And a lot of our listeners love this. A lot of people in my family love it.
Die Hard.
My girlfriend, it's like her favorite. The Nightmare Before Christmas,
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
which is a Tim
That's
Burton
cool.
movie, which I think we're going to do a Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton's
bio.
coming up. Yeah, we're going to be doing Tim Burton.
So if you don't know what this is, fuck you, you're dumb.
Yeah, bye.
Next one.
Yeah, bye.
13 is called White Christmas from 1954. It says it's a comedy musical romance. Bing Crosby,
Dreaming of a white
Danny Kaye, Rosemary
Christmas.
Clooney.
I actually love this movie, to be honest with you.
Never seen it.
It's fantastic. If I'm not mistaken, the premise of it is they get snowed in,
Okay.
and they're snowed in.
It says they're to save the failing Vermont inn of their former commanding general. Sister act and team. It's a dance team?
yeah, it's like
a dance
Danny Kaye and
Okay.
yeah,
Well, anyways, it's a 7.6, which is actually pretty high.
it's a great movie. It really is, but it's great for that time period.
54.
Yeah, it's like a musical and shit. So it's great though.
Yeah. Do you watch it with your aunt?
No,
Really?
yeah, she doesn't like to watch stuff with me.
Okay. Number 12 is the Santa Claus 2. Not the first one, but the second one. That is Tim Allen. I'm sure all you guys have seen the Santa Claus. This is the second one.
Is this the one where where they bring in the fucking what's his name Martin Short?
No, he's not in this one.
Oh, that's the third one, right?
Probably. Yeah, he's Mr. Frost or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
Jack Frost or yeah. Okay, so that was number 2. Number 11, and John is going to be very pissed that this is number 11, is our beloved Scrooged with Bill Murray, 1988.
That's fucking horseshit. 11?
Yeah,
Get
number
the
11.
fuck out of here.
It's got a 7.0. If you haven't seen Scrooged, please watch it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. Bill Murray is a fucking national treasure. All
Yes.
right.
And it's basically his version of the Christmas Carol.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's
really
absolutely
good.
great. It's hilarious. It's quick-witted. It's just awesome.
Number 10 is the Polar Express, 2004, the animated. Tom Hanks does the voice of
It's
the engineer.
okay.
Yeah, I never
guess.
bothered with it. I know my kids have seen it, but I just didn't pay attention.
Yeah, but
when
it's
it was on.
that's the thing though with that. So it's an animated one, Polar Express or whatever, and like my kids are like, yeah, it's cool, but they don't care if they ever see it again.
Yeah, it
You know
wasn't
what I
like a Pixar where it's got like a replay value
Yeah,
to it.
right. I mean, it was all right. I wouldn't, whatever. So that was number 10.
That was number 10. Number
All right.
9 is
Number 9.
It's a Wonderful Life.
good movie.
We actually just watched that the other night.
Kind of
that's
fucked up. But yeah,
8.6.
of course it is. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
Yeah. And that was 1946. James Stewart, Donna Reed, Lionel Barrymore, and Thomas Mitchell.
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, like John said, he said the famous line from it. You've probably seen it. So
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a good movie.
Number 8. I can't believe this beats Scrooged. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Get the fuck out of here. What?
1992. 1 year after Kevin McAllister was left home alone, he travels to he's stranded in New York. Yeah.
That's what I say to
Macaulay
that. Fuckers.
And this is really disappointing to me. This should be number 1, and it's
right.
number 7, and it is Die Hard.
Die Hard is number 7?
Number 7,
All
1988.
right.
So there is a theme in my house, which everybody rolls their eyes about, and I watch it every Christmas Eve. I don't give a fuck who is in my house or what's going on. I watch Die Hard every Christmas Eve. My tradition.
We've literally just started watching. See, my tradition is, I know what's coming up.
All right.
I know what's coming up. But we started watching Die Hard recently because my wife's never seen them. So she's watched 1, 2, and 3 so far.
Nice.
That means we just watched Sam Jackson.
Vengeance. Yeah, that's a good one.
Such a great movie.
That was better than 2 and 3 in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was 3.
Oh, it was 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So number 6 is The Grinch, and that's a 2018. That's the animated. Well, it's not animated, but it's kind of what would you call it?
It's
like
fucking
makeup.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the mean one, Mr. Grinch.
By the way, this movie, The Grinch, like beat all these ones. It made $270 million. It's
a lot of
That's
money.
a lot of
Got
dough.
that Jim Carrey money.
Okay, number 5 is The Santa Claus, the first one.
Wow.
With Tim Allen, 1994.
Hold on. I'm going to pause you real fast.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm sure everyone's seen that. But if National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation isn't within this next, top 4,
The IMDb lies.
we're fucking done.
By the way, that last Grinch I talked about was Benedict Cumberbatch. That wasn't the Jim Carrey one.
Oh, wait. What?
Yeah, apparently in 2018 there was a Grinch, an animated Grinch.
Oh, that is an animated one. That's the Pixar one. Not Pixar.
It's not Pixar.
Who does that? It's the
See, it doesn't tell you who.
the reanimation one or whatever it's called. Isn't the same ones who did the Minions? Isn't that the same company?
Despicable Me's.
Yeah, what is that company called?
That's not Pixar. It's
Illumination.
Something-
What is it?
Yeah, I know what
I
you're
think it's
talking about.
Illumination Studios, isn't it?
Yeah. So anyways, that was 2018. Now, spoiler, number 4 is the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Okay, well,
And that
makes
was from
sense.
2000. And that one grossed $260 million.
Of course it did.
And if you haven't seen that, it's actually a pretty good movie. I thought it was a good adaptation of Dr. Seuss.
It was cool.
You know?
Yeah, my daughter's been watching it every night, but when she goes to bed,
Yeah.
that's what she does.
All right.
It is Illumination Studios. Yes.
Okay. Number 2, we're getting down to, oh, I'm sorry. Number 3, we're getting down to the wire here.
All right.
What do you think number 3 is? You had to guess. Of all time Christmas movies.
All time. Shit. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation,
No.
because it's number 1. All right, go ahead. What is it?
Elf with Will Ferrell.
Okay. It's
2003.
It's fun, man.
It's a campy movie.
Yeah,
I
a lot
mean,
of people hate on Will Ferrell, but I think he's fucking, I don't know, he's funny. I
Yeah.
mean, he's not like, oh my God, he's the greatest, but he's pretty fucking funny.
He's got a 7.0. Not bad.
Yeah,
for
that was a good
IMDb.
movie.
Yeah, so it was a good movie. Number 2 is Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon.
At least it's number 2. I'll
It
take
is
that.
number 2.
I will take
and
that.
This is a classic. If you haven't seen this, you're stupid.
Chevy Chase, man.
It's
Absolutely one of the.
7.6.
It's because
on
it's
IMDb.
fucking amazing.
It
It's
is
probably
an
the
amazing
only
movie.
National Lampoon's movie that ever did anything. Well, Regular Vacation was cool.
Only made 71 million.
Yeah, it's just it's a cult classic.
It is. It really
So
is.
good. God, I'm gonna watch that tonight.
And number 1, can you guess?
Beat out that?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Also made the most money of this entire list, by the way, too.
Oh shit, that helps me. Hold on. I'm thinking.
It is not the Ewoks Christmas special from the 70s. It's not that.
which is awesome. Star
It's
Wars.
creepy.
Did you ever
Have
see
you
the
seen
Star Wars one?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, it's fucked up.
The Ewoks are like grabbing the little boy and
Yeah.
they're like,
I don't know.
the
What's
little
number
boy's
1?
like, what is this?
Yeah.
What's going on? Number 1
Number 1.
is Home Alone, the original,
Oh, I knew
1990.
that.
7.6 on IMDb. This is Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci,
Yeah.
Daniel Stern.
This is where-
great movie.
This is that movie where Joe Pesci was
Go
like,
home and get your fucking shine box.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It's a Macaulay Culkin.
right? So he was
And
like,
then Michael was there. He's like, leave Macaulay alone. It's not your problem, Macaulay. And that movie grossed $285 million. What do you think Mccoy did with all that money? Do you think he like went to a strip club and just blew it all in like a weekend?
I hope so.
That's why he looks as rough as he does now.
Yeah, I hope he does. I hope that's why he yeah.
Oh boy. So there is your Christmas gift,
Yay.
listeners. Now you know what presents to buy. You know what gift cards to get, and now you know what movies to put on for your holiday coming up. That'd be at the end of this week by the time you hear this.
Absolutely. When you're listening to this, you're going to be getting ready for Christmas right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So anyway, passengers, listen, we hope you really enjoyed your ride with us on the Dozier School for Boys. I know it's a little bit darker than we normally get into, but we said we wanted to start bringing some dark shit out. And why not do it for Christmas? That's our gift to you. We want you to be so disturbed that you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah. Let the kids listen.
Yeah.
It'll straighten them up.
Maybe. Be like,
know?
listen, if you don't fucking pay attention and fucking fuck Santa, it's Dozier.
That's right.
You don't want me sending you to Dozier, little shit. Anyway, we want to thank you guys for listening. We hope you really enjoyed it. Next week for New Year's.
Next week.
Next week for New
God.
Year's.
You mean this shit year is finally going to be over?
It's coming to a close. We'll see what happens. But we're actually going to be talking about the Hatfield and Mccoy's New Year's Eve Massacre.
No
Or
way.
New Year's Massacre.
No, why?
Swear.
Why?
I swear. And there's going to be an awful lot of...
Yeah, we're talking cowboys and
Yeah.
like duels and stuff like
well, I
that.
wouldn't like call them cowboys.
Young punks, get off my lawn.
It's more like, what y'all doing out there, man? I'm going to shoot you in the fucking face.
Are you Mccoy?
Maybe.
Get the fuck off my lawn.
All right, man. I'm sorry. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing for our New Year's episode. And listen, make sure to guys stop over to our official website, themidnighttrainpodcast.com. At our website, you can buy some super sweet merchandise at our store. And, where the new Fecal Fighters are going to be popping up here. Yeah.
Fecal Fighter!
Fecal Fighters t-shirts, which are, our line of shit-eating robot t-shirts, which will be coming out soon. And this is a promise from me to you, I swear. Probably going to be in the first of the year, but we'll be getting them up there. And listeners...
we don't need Silicon Valley. We just do it here.
That's right.
I mean, we're like the best startup you could ever think of.
Absolutely.
If you guys want to invest your money, you'd be wise to.
That's absolutely
right.
This is the way get on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. And listeners keep asking how they can keep the steam in our engines. Well, if you guys like what you hear from us, consider being a producer of the show by heading over to the midnighttrainpodcast.com and clicking on that Patreon button or at patreon.com/the Midnight Train Podcast. For as little as $5 a month, you can get all kinds of sweet shit. But most importantly is the bonus episodes, because you're not going to get them anywhere else. So if you're a diehard Midnight Train fan and you want to help produce this motherfucker, our Patreon is for you.
Let me ask you this. If I were new to Patreon, could I go back and listen to all the bonus episodes ever posted?
Yep, they're all there.
Oh, wow. What a deal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a shit ton of episodes over there, too.
I should sign up.
You should. Maybe you should.
I love to hear myself.
Maybe you should. For those of you that would rather just leave a one-time donation because you're like, you know what, I really, really, really enjoy these guys, but I do have commitment issues, then listen, just go over to PayPal, send us whatever you want to. Send 20 cents. Send 20 cents and just say this is...
How much is an Elf on the Shelf? Because can we have somebody donate that so we can get Moody back to not have to be Moody on Tootie?
Moody on a Tootie?
Yeah.
On his Tootie?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta come up with some money for that, folks. I don't know.
It's got to be, what, like $5.99 at this point?
I think.
Elf on the Shelf?
I'm not sure how
on
much
Amazon?
Never did that. I'm old. My kids...
How do you think what if he has to go to the bathroom? Do you think, like, he makes the wife take the kids out of the room, and then and then he jumps down real quick and runs to the bathroom, pees,
Maybe.
and then goes and sips back up,
See, back in my day when my kids were small, it was just dad drunk on a couch.
Oh.
Yeah, totally different thing.
That's a Christmas miracle.
It is. It's a miracle I woke up the next day. Yeah. So, but anyway, go over to the PayPal and drop us whatever you want for the at the Midnight Train Podcast at gmail.com. Just use that email address. Honestly, any little bit helps, and it really helps to just do the things that we're doing. Also, you can easily like, subscribe, and rate us on your favorite podcast platform. And most importantly, this is the biggest part, Jeff. They have to share. They got to let people know. Word of mouth.
Sharing is caring.
Word of mouth is all. That's it, man. Let people know. We're like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Someone's like, man, I'm having a bad day. You can be like, dude, you know what would really help you? Like this podcast called the Midnight Train Podcast.
Yeah. What I would do is, when you go to Zoom your parents on Christmas, because that's what most of you guys are going to be doing. As soon as the Zoom call comes up in your family, like, you got like 30 windows up, it's your whole extended family. As soon as it pops up, I'd be like, hey, everyone, shut the fuck up. You should go listen to the Midnight Train Podcast, and then hit escape, like close out the Zoom. And everyone's like, wait, what the fuck happened? What just happened? What's the midnight train? And everybody looks it up and boom, they're hooked. That's what I would do. So if you guys could do that, please do so.
And that is word of advice from Jeff for Christmas.
Marketing genius.
Marketing genius.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking genius. Well, listen, man, you're just passing it around is how we're going to keep doing what we do here. So we can't thank you all enough for all the love and support we have received. You passengers really do keep the train moving.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening. So a big fucking happy motherfucking holiday, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever shout out to
Hanukkah. Remember, that's our new holiday.
Hanukkah. To happy Hanukkah. Yes. To Lacey, Mikey, Ben, John, Nate, Tess, Heidi, Kaylin, Kevin, Samantha, Matt, Diana, Christopher, Jacqueline, Katie, Michaela, Ramsey, Tamar, Tommy Speakerbox, The Sister Skeleton. Please make sure you go check out the Sister Skeleton podcast.
Yes.
Wherever
Tell
you
me
listen to podcasts.
You want that Walmart segment.
That's right. And yeah, vote for the Walmart segment.
Yeah, that's
there you
a
go.
genius idea. I wish I would have thought of that.
That's a good one. Riley, Diane, Alina, Stephanie, Julie, Laura, Cynthia, Kirsten, Dawn, Nicola, Caitlin, Chanel, Alex, Emily Ann, Son of Vasco, Alicia, Frandipai, Danny, Melissa, Grace, Stormy, Eva, Melissa, Wayne, Victoria, Hagar, Sean, Samantha, Chainsaw. Say what? Jigsaw, Bill, Son, Colin, Todd, David Vallow, Juan, Belen, Ken and Brad at Voodoo Vodka, Stripper Kevin, Katie Barabanik, Davey, our Mexican Valto, and a very special thank you to our superhero, fucking amazing Patreon producers, Chad Flint, Cheryl Pierce, Chris McLeod, Justin Kowalczyk, Rob Webb from the Fun Box Podcast, Christina Skelton, Maria Gibbs, Jessica Bartolome, and Bill Birch. If you want your name to be mentioned on the show, please just sign up over at our website. It's absolutely free. We're not asking for any money there, and we'll talk about your name or whatever. And if you want to be like the last, the like creme de la creme, the fucking just coolest people on fucking earth.
Yeah.
Sign up and become a Patreon.
You don't even need a leather jacket. Like, you're just that cool. You don't even need it.
Hey, I see you got a lunchbox. What's in there?
Stay safe out there. Stay socially distanced. Do whatever it is you guys have to do. Have a great holiday. And most importantly, choo-choo, motherfuckers!
Handy. Handy.
Now go home and get your
Christmas
fucking shine
tomorrow.
box.
Handy.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Handy. All the expensive things you could ever want. To sleep now, all of you. He's such a pure boy. Handy. Handy. It is drafty in here. Handy. Handy. I have no doubt. I'd give him a nice big piece of my mind. You shall have all the pretty little iPads. Wow. Handy.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Handy. It is drafty in here.
Now go home and
Handy.
get your fucking shine box.
I have no doubt. Wow.